Yo, what is going on YouTube? Sorry, that was super loud. It is GZTV. We're back with another video, and in this video, we are going to be talking about the 2023 American Gothic supernatural horror film, directed by Michael Chaves, with a screenplay written by Ian Goldberg, Richard Nang, and Akela Cooper from a story by Akela Cooper. We have the sequel to the original Nun movie, The Nun 2. I'm not gonna lie, this was a super pointless movie in my opinion. I think the first one just justified the series well enough. It's like, okay, this could be a standalone film. I don't know why there's a second one. It's kind of just like a different nun, a different story around the world. I guess it's kind of cool, like the origins and stuff, but I don't know. We gotta stop disrespecting Sister Valak or whatever her name, Valak, because she's one of the scariest horror villains ever, and you just kind of ruined it with a movie like this. But let's get into the plot and the critical review and what I think. So getting into the plot, I'm not gonna lie, I kind of fell asleep during this movie. Like, not literally, but it's like, wow, I already kind of got tired of the concept. Like, the first movie was pretty good. I'm not gonna say it's amazing. I think it was pretty scary, and the villain is amazing. Like, Valak is one of the best villains I've seen in a horror movie. But, like, man, they did not need to do this again. But in 1956, Father Noret and young Jacques performed their daily chores in their church in Tarascon, France. So while investigating a disturbance, Noret is raised into the air, set on fire, and burned to death before a terrified Jacques, who then flees. And this was probably the most terrifying, one of the most gripping, one of the most iconic probably parts of the film. And after this, the movie just kind of falls off the cliff. It's like, what the hell is going on? Why are we doing the same thing over and over again? You could have followed the same story and maybe had different characters. I don't know. I don't think this is a series or a franchise. Sorry about the focus. I don't think this is really a franchise that's meant to have multiple movies. I guess it's not a franchise, but so 4 years following the events at St. Cartha's Monastery, which was the first movie, I think, is when that happens, Sister Irene now serves in a convent in Italy. So Maurice works at a boarding school in France, where he's befriended a young Irish student named Sophie and her teacher and mother, Kate. It's super fucking weird. Like, we follow multiple storylines here. The movie just feels like a damn mess. I don't know. I mean, Irene has a vision of Maurice asking her to save him. She's dispatched by the Cardinal to investigate a series of deaths across Europe attributed to the demon Valak, which, again, super iconic. I love her character. It's just, this movie really fucked it up for me. Due to her previous experience with the demon, she can maybe investigate, maybe find some like symptoms and some signs of things happening. I don't know. She travels to Tarascon with Sister Deborah, a young novice who expresses her difficulty in accepting miracles, such as the real presence of Christ and the Eucharist. She's like unenthusiastic. Like, her parents sent her off to this, what do you call it? I mean, a convent, I guess, where all like the nuns are there. Her parents sent her off to a convent to maybe like find Christ, I guess. I'm not sure why. It's really weird that you would do that to a kid, but I mean, hey, I'm not the one to judge, I guess. Um, so meanwhile, a delivery girl witnesses Valak talking to a possessed Maurice before Valak kills her. It's like, yeah, Valak is back, I guess. Wow, so cool, man. It's a different fucking area that she's affecting. Why isn't this thing a story? Why can't there be interesting lore to it? I mean, the Conjuring movies, which this is the same universe. The Annabelle movies, the Conjuring movies, all have this sort of universe, and it feels atmospheric. It feels like there's a lore, there's a story there. I don't know. So, yeah. I mean, this movie's based on real religious things, I guess. It's kind of cool. Like, it's a little history lesson, but at the same time, I'm just not really sure about it. So, in Tarascon, Irene is haunted by Valak and has a strange vision. Obviously, she's haunted. She's pretty much scarred for life by this demon. So, Sister Deborah tells Irene that she received Noret's rosary from Jacques. So, at school, Sophie is bullied by classmates and locked in the deconsecrated, sealed-off chapel. It's pretty much, yeah, I don't know. It's no longer like a chapel. It's used for something else. I don't know. But Sorry, I'm trying to figure out where I'm at. The bully points out the goat on the stained glass window, claiming the devil appears when the sun shines through the turns and turns the goat's eyes red. Sorry, I am not focused right now. But yeah, obviously the goat is like a symbolization of the devil, of course. One night, the head mistress encounters a sleepwalking Maurice and is killed by Valak in the guise of her deceased son. Obviously, Valak is just super OP, like super OP character. Irene and Deborah travel to the Palais de Papes and meet with a librarian. He explains that Valak was an angel rejected by God, and the emblem on Noret's rosary is the family crest of St. Lucy, who was martyred by a pagan. There's a lot of cool little history things, but again, it's not interesting, because shit like this has already happened before. Though she was set on fire, she miraculously did not burn. Her eyes were gouged out, but her family recovered them. Wow. Cool, man. Good thing that happened. The librarian suggests the demon is killing St. Lucy's descendants because it wants this powerful relic, last known to be stored in a former monastery turned winery. The winery then became the present-day boarding school, which is why she's invading this place, which is what happened with the chapel, I think. It's kind of confusing, I guess. I don't know. I just don't really like this film anyway. So at the school, Irene and Deborah face off against a fully possessed Maurice. Sophie shows the women the stained glass goat in the chapel, and they use a flashlight to make its eyes glow red, which makes the devil show up. The red lights act as a laser-like pointer, pointing to where the eyes of St. Lucy are buried. So Irene finds the relic, and the stained glass goat vanishes, reappearing in real life as a demonic creature. Yeah, whatever. So it's kind of cool, I guess. Like, as the goat attacks the students, Maurice attacks Irene, chases Sophie, and causes the bell tower to collapse. Deborah admits to Irene that she now has faith. Irene uses the relic against Maurice, but he grabs it, causing Valak to appear, summoning her with it. Similar to Father Noret, Valak lifts Irene in the air and sets her ablaze. Fucking crazy. It's such a crazy imagery. Irene does not burn as Valak realizes she is a descendant of St. Lucy, able to harness the same power associated with the relic. It's a really cool moment, I guess. I watched that scene. There were a couple scenes where I just zoned out. I was looking at my phone and shit. So Irene and Deborah pray the words of institution as the old barrels of wine in the room become the blood of Christ, which was kind of like the thing that happened at the beginning of the movie, banishing the demons. So with Valak gone, Irene and Deborah manage to free Maurice of possession and save his life. The next morning, Irene leads Maurice outside and helps him to regain his senses. However, she becomes concerned as she watches him going with Sophie and Katie inside. What the hell is this movie, man? I'm sorry. I just don't understand why anyone would, enjoy this movie. I don't know. We can just get into the review and call it. I don't care. In terms of the review, like I said, this is just one of the most pointless sequels ever made. Like, just keep the first movie. We don't need another Nun movie. You know, it's pretty scary. I don't know if it's scarier than its previous movie. The Nun 2, it's okay, I guess. I mean, it's not really super original. It's a very unoriginal, matter-of-fact horror sequel. I don't know. It's a very average movie to me. There's nothing special. I mean, the filmmaker does a fine job creating a suitably ominous atmosphere. The old-world European locations and Tristan Ivy's gloomy cinematography was kind of cool. It's a cool atmosphere, but it's the same vibe you get out of the first movie. I mean, the violent mayhem, much of it involves terrified little girls, disturbing relish. This movie often flirts with ridiculousness, but I mean, the direction is pretty cool. The performances weren't bad, I guess. The film's a slick, if familiar, addition to the very fertile Conjuring universe that, by deftly expanding on the 2018 hit, appears destined to become another cinematic habit. I don't know. I'm just reading reviews here. In some respects, an improvement on its predecessor, and others not. This is finally one more. It's good enough. It's not super memorable, but it's good enough, I suppose. I'm just not a fan of it. I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's just image over substance. That's all there is. It's just aesthetic over like a decent storyline that's original. That's what they decided to do this. And the film runs like haunted clockwork, shoving characters down dark alleyways or abandoned chapels every 5 minutes with little justification. Like, why the hell are you going in there? You know the history of this place. Like, it was fucking told to you probably before you got there. I don't know. Scene after scene builds fear and tension, and then a monster appears, and then not much else. I mean, it's just for shock value. And I feel like that has been a problem a couple of times in the Conjuring universe, I will say. But yeah, I mean, the shocks are brief and not too grisly, and dingy gothic look is as you'd expect from this movie. This movie is just like as expected, and the mechanical climax steers clear of the more unsettling possibilities that might have emerged if Frenchie's Jekyll and Hyde sides had been meaningfully linked. It's a new directing and writing team who fails to shock or scare with the color-by-numbers plot and a meandering, languid, and wannabe fright fest. It's just like, yeah, you're just trying to scare people. And does it even work that much? I mean, yeah, it's a scary movie, but where's the art of the movie? Where's the art of film at in this? There's no, like, redeeming qualities of it at all, except, oh, you might be shitting your pants if you're sensitive. I don't know. I'm out, guys. I don't have anything to say. I think this movie's virtually, like, practically pointless. I don't get it. Peace.